Welcome to this morning's practice. We're going to do a little bit of heart opening, a little bit of chest opening, and lung opening, just in honor of sort of releasing some stress, releasing some stuff that we're going through, and just kind of moving through. So for today's practice, you're going to need a blanket and 2 blocks. I'm going to sit on my blanket just to start. We're going to just start by checking in, notice where we are. So go ahead and come down to sit. And you can sit however you'd like. I'm going to actually stack shins today. But once you come to sit, just reach down and tug the flesh out from underneath your pelvis. Find a nice long spine. Maybe close your eyes or lower your gaze. I'm going to start by lowering my gaze this morning. I'm not quite feeling the closing off yet, so just start to breathe through your nose. And if you'd like, you can start by inhaling through the nose and exhaling out through the mouth. And take a couple of deep breaths this way. So see if you can extend the length of your exhale. If you'd like, you can incorporate a straw breath, so breathing out through pursed lips. Inhale and exhale out through pursed lips, like you're blowing through a straw. Inhale. And exhale out through pursed lips. And if at any time you feel like you want to close your eyes, feel free to close your eyes. Do that one more time. Inhale. And exhale out through pursed lips. And then just let your breath return to normal. And just kind of notice what's here. For me, I'm noticing some tightness in my shoulders, some tightness definitely in my upper chest, a little bit of this panicky feeling. So we're going to work with that a little bit today. So the first thing I'd like you to do is actually just take your hand right to the front of your rib cage, the chest, and just start to massage kind of your heart. Massage those muscles across the chest. So you can start in the center and draw out, or you can start out and draw in. And see if you can breathe into that space. And you can do circles, you can do just long swipes, just kind of bringing some awareness into this spot. And then what I'd like you to do is just go ahead and open your eyes. And this is something we've done in the past, but you're going to make little buds with your fingertips, and you're going to start to tap right at the top of your chest, right under your collarbones. Take your elbows out to the side. Allow those elbows to reach left and right. Take a few breaths in. You can take your tapping out towards the shoulders. And a few breaths out. And if you'd like to maybe soften the hands to loose fists and start to kind of tap into the lungs that way, you can. And just continue to tap, letting your breath come in and out. And then if you'd like, you can take your right hand to the center of your chest and just tap down your sternum. Take your left hand behind your head, maybe lift up towards the sky. And we're just going to start to tap down underneath the rib cage, up underneath the armpit, maybe brush up and then around. And I'm really going to spend a little time down on the lower ribs, so this spot along the outside edge of my rib cage. We're going to work into that space a little bit today. And then go ahead and switch sides. So right hand comes behind your head, tap through the center of the chest, out towards the shoulder, maybe turn your head, maybe brush up through the through the armpit, tap along the rib cage. I have to say, with a lot of the stress that's been going on, I've been kind of coming back to this kind of practice, this kind of tapping, this resetting. Just finding ways to soothe, because there's a lot going on. Just continue to tap here. And then once you're ready, just go ahead, lower your hands back to your thighs. If you'd like, palms down or palms up. And just notice what your breath feels like here. And then from here, we're going to come around off our blankets and just place the blanket off to the side. If your blocks are on your mat, you can just move those off. We're going to come into that 90-90 sit. So take your right shin forward, take your left shin back. And you're just going to make that right shin parallel with the front of the mat. Left shin comes back behind the hip, so left hip and left knee are in line. Take your right hand off to the side, take your left hand to your hip, and you're just going to twist. So again, inhaling and exhaling as you feel sort of the need. But for me, I'm really liking that twist and exhale all the way out. Almost like you're trying to take all the lung out of your, all the air out of your lungs. All the lung out of your air. That's not how that works. And just twist and blow out. You can move slowly or quickly. Take your hands up to your rib cage. Continue that twisting movement. Really letting those shoulders kind of come around, keeping the eyes open, letting them gaze around the room. And you'll hear me kind of breathing out more audibly. Feel free to join me if that feels good. It helps just kind of move any pent up air, any pent up energy. I'll take 2 more of those. And then take your fingertips to your shoulder, and you're going to reach forward as you twist towards the right, and then take the fingertips back to the shoulder and look back over your left shoulder. So breathing to extend, inhaling to look out, exhaling to look forward. I'm really just trying to kind of connect with that breath. Connect with the body. Notice what's happening. And then from here on this last reach, you're just going to twist all the way over to the right. Take both palms down. Walk your right hand more over towards the right side of your mat. Press down into the inner line of that left knee. Take a deep breath in, feel your belly twist, and on your exhale, see if you can exhale out all your air. Inhale and fill up, and exhale all the air out. And then from here, just start to do a little bit of cat-cow into the upper back. And as you round, take an inhale, spread those shoulder blades wide, and exhale. Slide those shoulder blades down your back, lift your throat. If you'd like to incorporate a little lion's breath, a little bit of moving that prana, moving that air, you can, on your exhale, open your eyes, open your mouth wide, stick your tongue out, and make an audible sigh out. So inhale and exhale. Inhale. And exhale. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Last time. And exhale. And then from here, go ahead and come back to center. You're just going to draw this right foot in towards your left. You're going to pick up that left leg, cross it over your right, plant that left foot on the mat. Your left knee points towards the sky. So you're in this sort of Lord of the Fishes pose, if you will. Press down into the outside edge of your right foot, and you can choose to either twist away from the knee, so going towards the right, or you can twist towards the knee and go towards the left, just depending on how you're feeling. For me, I'm feeling like a little more compression might be great, so I'm going to go towards the left. I'm going to take my right hand to my left knee and actually pull my upper body around to gaze back over my shoulder. And as I inhale, I may unwind just a little bit, and as I exhale, I'm going to twist a little bit further back, gazing over my left shoulder. Take a deep breath. Do it one more time. And then go ahead and unwind. We're going to take the opposite side. So left shin comes to parallel with the long side of your mat. Right shin goes back, right hip, right knee in line, that 90-90 sit that we revisit quite often. If you feel like you need a little bit of padding underneath that right hip, feel free to slide that blanket underneath. Take your left hand off to the side, take your right hand to your hip, and just start to rock and roll. Press down into that left palm. Let your breath come and go in whatever rhythm it wants. You can continue to use that pursed lip breathing if it feels good. Just trying to open those lungs, trying to open that airway, access that nervous system reset. Keep those eyes open and scanning your room from corner to corner, kind of like you're drawing a line with your eyes from the upper ceiling down to the lower corner of the floor. Take your hands to your ribs, rotate those ribs around. So once again, just kind of giving yourself a little bit of a pressure into the back body, pressing into the back of the ribs. Imagine sending your breath to where your hand touches your body. We'll do 2 more before we take our fingertips up to our shoulder. And then on your next inhale, go ahead, take your fingertips to your right shoulder, gaze back over your right shoulder. And then on your exhale, rotate forward, reach the fingertips forward, gaze down towards the floor. If you'd like to look a little further, you can look off towards your left. And again, moving as quickly or as slowly as you need, as you like. Taking full and complete breaths in and full and complete exhales. And just move with your breath. Kind of trying to get out of our heads, into our bodies. We'll do 2 more. Here's 1. Here's 2. Take that right hand down next to your left. Walk your left hand over slightly more. Press down into the palms. Press down to the inner line of your right knee. Take a deep breath, and on your exhale, twist through the belly. Keep that kind of twisting sensation going through the belly, up through the heart, through the spine. And then from here, just start to move into a little bit of cat-cow. So it's a really small kind of movement. It may just be that you're dropping your head to your chest and lifting it up. Here, what I'm trying to do is on my sort of cat shape, I'm drawing my belly button towards my spine and really exhaling so that I'm compressing the lower part of my lungs. And then when I breathe in, I'm lifting my throat, opening that airway. If there's any place you want to hang out, if there's a spot where you're like, I'm just going to stay here for a second, feel free to do that. But we're going to start to incorporate that lion's breath. So go ahead and take a deep inhale and exhale round through the spine, drop the head. On your next exhale, go ahead and take an inhale at the bottom of this spot where your chin is tucked to your chest. And on your exhale, you're going to lift your head, open your mouth, stick your tongue out. Make your eyes go wide and make an audible exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale. Doesn't matter what it sounds like. Doesn't matter how funny it sounds. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last time. Inhale. And exhale. And then go ahead. And here we're just going to pick up that right leg, cross it over the left, plant that right foot on the mat, draw that left heel more towards your hip, more towards your pelvis, maybe make some adjustments here. If you're on that blanket, you may need to tug it out from underneath you. Once again, notice what you're feeling. Do you want to go towards the open side and continue to kind of feel open? Do you want to compress For me, I want to compress. I want to sort of compact this feeling and metabolize it some more. So I'm going to twist towards my right. I'm taking my left hand to the outside of my right knee. I'll take my fingertips down behind my back. And I'm going to take an inhale in, lift the crown of my head, and then exhale, twist through the middle. Gaze back over that right shoulder. Take a couple of deep breaths. And then we're going to come back to center. Go ahead and grab that blanket, place it on your mat so that you have a nice place to land your knees. We're going to come around into all fours. If you're like me and your blocks are towards the back of your mat, go ahead and move them towards the front. And we're going to start to move just a little bit here. Take your hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips, and just start to move through a cat-cow. So the next little bit, we're going to look to build a little heat. We're going to continue to twist. We're going to continue to open up the upper back, the shoulders, that powerful breathing apparatus of our lungs to reconnect us. I really like the word metabolize. I really like the way that it describes what we have to do sometimes with difficult feelings, with difficult times. Stress will sit in the body, and if we don't metabolize it, if we don't move it, if we don't burn it off, or if we don't let it go, it will lead to exhaustion, it will lead to poor decision making, it will lead to all kinds of other stress. So think of it like you're kind of moving through it, and there's, two types of sort of metabolizing. Either you're going to metabolize it and let it go, metabolize it to let it go, or you're going to metabolize it and burn it off. So this practice is going to focus a little bit more on burning it off and twisting it out. So rotate your hips sort of in a circle, almost like you're letting the belly kind of scrape the inside of a barrel. Just allow the hips to sway, allow the tail to wag, allow the head to drop. Let the chest reach towards the floor as you come around. And if you're going one way, go ahead and shift to the opposite direction. This kind of metabolizing, this kind of movement will help us rebound. This will help us be resilient in the face of stress. This is adding managed stress to our bodies so that we can come back stronger, so we can learn to deal with it in a controlled environment. So from here, go ahead and come back to center. And we're just going to press down, lift up, come into your first downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet, press down actively into the hands. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Keep your breath even and steady. If you'd like, you can breathe through your nose. My nose is a little runny this morning, so I apologize for that. But do try to keep your breath even and steady in any of these coming poses. The idea is to find a little bit of stability in maybe a little bit of stressful, a little bit of active positions. So from here, take a deep breath in and let it go. One more time, inhale and let it go. On your next exhale, inhale, bend your knees, take a walk up to the top of your mat. Inhale to halfway lift. If your blocks are on your mat, you can go ahead and let those fingertips come down to those blocks. Lift the heart. And exhale to fold. Inhale to sweep your arms up and overhead. And exhale, hands come down to heart center. Inhale to sweep up. Exhale to fold. Hands come down to the floor or to your blocks. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, hands come down, step back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, shift forward, high plank. Exhale, lower to your knees and lower to the ground. Inhale, press your chest up, little baby cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips, press up and back, downward facing dog. Take an inhale here and an exhale. Inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, take a walk up to the top of your mat. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to sweep your arms up and overhead. And exhale, hands come down, fold over your legs. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, hands come down, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower to your knees, lower to your belly. Inhale, lift the chest, little tiny cobra, or if you'd like to go bigger, feel free. And exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift the hips, press up and back, downward facing dog. Take one inhale and one exhale here. Inhale, bend your knees, and exhale, take a walk up to the top of your mat. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift, traction that heart forward. Exhale, hands come down, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, down to your knees, lower to your belly. Inhale, press up, cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, press up and back, downward facing dog. One inhale and one exhale here. Inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, walk to the top of your mat. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Stabilize. Steady your breath. Take a moment. Notice what the rhythm has done to your body, what that regular rhythmic breathing has done. Inhale to reach up. We're going to add on. Exhale to fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Traction the heart forward. Exhale, step the right foot back. Right knee comes down. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Lift the heart. And exhale, sweep the arms out to the side. Interlace your fingers behind your low back. Reach the knuckles down towards the earth. Take an inhale, really expand through the front body. And then exhale, frame that front foot. Step back, downward facing dog. Take an inhale here, and an exhale. Feel your ribs expand. Inhale to come forward, high plank. Exhale, lower to your belly. Inhale, cobra or up dog, whatever feels good. For me, I'm still sticking with cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, press up and back. And take a breath here. Inhale to lift that right leg. Exhale, bend that right knee. Drop that right foot back behind. Open up towards the right side of your mat. So three-legged dog with a bit of an opening here in the hip. And then exhale, come back to center. Reach that right leg high. And exhale, step your right foot in between your hands, the top of your mat, lower to your left knee. Inhale, sweep the arms up, overhead. Reach up, maybe reach back. Exhale, hands come down, reach behind the back, interlace the fingers. Drag the knuckles towards your heel, lift your heart, expand into the front of the chest. Maybe lift the chin. Exhale, frame that front foot. Lift your back knee, step back, downward facing dog. Take one inhale and one exhale. Bend your knees. And on your next exhale, go ahead and move forward. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. You should start to feel a little warmth. Inhale, reach up. Exhale to fold. But these movements should become familiar. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, step back with your left foot, drop your left knee. Inhale, reach the arms up. Look up. Exhale, Reach the arms back, interlace the fingers in a weird way, reach the knuckles down, lift the heart. Take an inhale here and exhale. Frame that front foot, lift those back toes, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale to lift that left leg. Exhale, bend that left knee. Open that left hip towards the left side of your mat. Take one complete inhale and one complete exhale here. Then inhale, take those hips back to square, reach that left foot high, and exhale, step that left foot in between your hands, the top of your mat. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead, look up. Exhale, reach the hands behind the hips, drag down towards your heel, open the chest. Take an inhale, and on your exhale, frame that front foot, step back, downward facing dog. Bend your knees, look between your hands, take a walk up to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to sweep up and overhead. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. Inhale to sweep up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step the right foot back, drop the right knee. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Reach up, look up. Exhale, swan dive those arms down. Reach behind your back, interlace your fingers. Drag the knuckles towards the heel. Inhale and expand. Exhale, frame your front foot. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach the right foot towards the sky. Exhale, bend that right knee. Take that right heel towards the left hip. Open up towards the right side of the mat. Inhale and exhale here. And then exhale, extend that foot, square the hips. Step that right foot in between the hands, the top of the mat. Drop your left knee. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach behind. Drag the knuckles back. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, hands come down, frame that front foot, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward, high plank. Exhale, come down to your belly. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, lift the hips, press up and back, downward facing dog. One complete breath here. Inhale and exhale. On your next exhale, bend your knees, look between your hands, take a walk up to the top of your mat. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. Inhale to reach up. Exhale to fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, this time you're going to step the left foot back, drop the left knee. Inhale, sweep the arms up, reach up. Exhale, hands come down behind the back. Drag the knuckles towards the heel. Lift the heart. Inhale to expand. Exhale, frame that front foot. Step back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, lift that left leg. Exhale, drop that left ankle towards the left hip. Open up towards the left side of your mat. Inhale to come back to square. Exhale, drag that left foot in between your hands at the top of your mat. Sweep your arms up. Right knee goes down. Reach up, look up. Exhale, hands behind the back. Drag the knuckles towards the heel. Lift the heart. Take an inhale, expand. Exhale, frame that front foot. Step back, downward facing dog. One complete inhale, one complete exhale here. On your next inhale, shift your body weight forward, hands under shoulders, lower down to your belly. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Lift the heart. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips, press up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, walk to the top of your mat. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, sweep up, look up. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. Take a moment here. Ground down into your feet. Notice what you feel. Notice the beat of your heart. Notice the rhythm of your breath. We're going to continue to add on here. We're going to do a couple of standing poses and then start to move down onto the floor. So inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, swan dive down to fold. And as you fold, reach back. Just kind of slide that blanket out from behind you so you don't end up stepping on it. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, you're going to bring your fingertips down to the earth. Step back with the right foot. Find your warrior two. So separate those feet. Bend deeply into that front knee. So to a point where you're not just kind of like phoning it in. You're actually really kind of like, this is like the Instagram pose of warrior two. So really sink down into those legs. Reach the arms out either way. Take an inhale here. And on your exhale, flip that front palm, reach up, look up, open into that left lung. And then exhale, take that left hand to your knee, or left elbow to your knee. Take your right hand to your hip. Draw that right shoulder back. Press down actively into the feet. Notice what your breath is doing. See if you can even it out. See if you can ease it. And then inhale, come back up, warrior two. Lots of work in the legs. Flip that hand, reach up, look back, reverse your warrior. And then on your exhale, go ahead and frame that front foot. Come back up onto the ball mound of your back foot. You're going to just step that back foot forward. Take your blocks next to your front foot and come to a place where you're kind of in a pyramid pose. So your feet should be on railroad tracks, not on a balance beam. Toes are pointed forward. See if you can reach the back heel back. Maybe it connects to the earth, maybe it doesn't. If you need to step it in a little further, feel free to step it in. Place your hands on those blocks. Press down actively into the feet, almost like you're trying to split your mat in half. Take an inhale here and an exhale. If you don't need those blocks, you can always turn them down. You can also decide to get rid of them. Let the crown of the head move towards the top of the foot. Actively press down into the feet. See if you can just take your left hand into that left hip crease and adjust that hip crease back. Once you have taken a few moments in pyramid pose, we're going to add a little twist. So I'm going to go back to my block. I'm going to take my right hand to my right block. Lift my heart. Take my left hand towards the sky and start to rotate across the spine. Maybe my gaze comes up. Maybe eventually my gaze goes up towards my top hand. Take a few moments here. Breathe. Notice what your tendency is to do in positions of stress. Do you hold your breath? Can you ask yourself not to hold your breath? Take one more inhale. And on your exhale, go ahead, come back down, frame that front foot, step back, downward facing dog. Take a moment to pedal out the feet. Take a moment to settle the heart. Notice what your breath is doing. Take an inhale, come forward, high plank. Exhale, lower down to the belly. Inhale, cobra, draw those shoulder blades down and away from the ears. Really lift through the heart, lift through the back body. Exhale, release the forehead towards the mat. Inhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, press up and back, downward facing dog. Take a breath. On your next exhale, bend your knees, look between your hands, travel to the top of your mat. Inhale to halfway lift, really extend out through the crown of the head. Exhale to fold. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Exhale, hands come down, heart center. Inhale to sweep up. Exhale to fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, this time we're going to step back with that left foot. Come on down, plant your feet, find your warrior two. So once again, make it one of those, have to take that picture, hurry up. Really deep, bend as deeply as you find that edge in this moment. So it doesn't have to be like it was on the other side. It doesn't have to be the same. Just find your edge in this moment. Reach the fingertips long. Inhale, flip that top palm, reach back. Breathe into those right lungs. Open up. Exhale, bend that right elbow. Place it on your right knee. Take your left hand to your left hip. Really sink down into those legs. See if you can move the back of the heart back. Take an inhale and an exhale. And then inhale, come back up. Warrior two, once again, lots of work in the legs. And then exhale, you're going to frame that front foot, step that back foot in just a little bit, come back into your pyramid pose. If you need those blocks, use them. If you don't, fingertips to the floor. Take your right hand to your right hip, press that right hip back in space. Take a breath, take a break. Notice what your breath is doing. Notice if you're holding. We tend to hold our breath in moments of stress, in moments of anxiety. That doesn't help us connect. That doesn't help us move through it or metabolize what we're going through. Take your left hand to the inside of your left foot or onto a block. Slowly, slowly, slowly start to twist across your torso. Reach that right arm up towards the sky. Maybe start to lift your gaze very slowly towards that top thumb. Press down evenly into your feet. Breathe. Notice the twist across the belly, mimicking the same kind of movement we were doing on the floor. Take an inhale. And on your exhale, go ahead. Frame that front foot. If you're on blocks, get them out of your way. Step back. Downward facing dog. Take an inhale here. Sink the heart towards the mat. Sink the heels towards the mat. Inhale to come forward. High plank. Draw that belly button in. And exhale, lower down to your belly. Untuck your toes. Lift your heart. Cobra. Let the lungs fill with air. Exhale. Head comes down to the mat. Inhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips, press up and back. Downward facing dog. Take a breath. Notice what your breath is doing. Can you calm it? Inhale to bend your knees and exhale, look between your hands. Step to the top of your mat. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. Notice, let your thumbs rest on your sternum. Maybe you are like me and you've become a little frazzled, a little disarrayed. That's okay. Stress isn't neat. It's not orderly. It's messy. And sometimes in order to move through it, we have to get messy right along with it. Take an inhale here. And an exhale. Inhale to sweep your arms up and overhead. And exhale. Go ahead, deeply bend your knees. Lower on down. Maybe come down to sit as gracefully or as not gracefully as you like. Life is not clean. This is how we live right now. Go ahead and just close your eyes. Take your hands to your thighs. Notice what's coming up. Welcome it. For me, I'm noticing that I can now acknowledge a little bit of fear, a little bit of anxiety, but it doesn't feel like it has a hold on me anymore. There's a little bit of gratitude with a little bit of the space that I've created with my breath between what I feel and how it's making me feel and how it's making me react and what the actual emotion is. And then gently just open your eyes. And if there are emotions that have come up, if there are, any kind of tears or whatever you're feeling, just go with it. You are at home in your own space. So, feel free. We're going to go ahead and take both our blocks back behind us. Do a little bit more heart opening. So you're going to take one block on its highest setting and one block on its middle setting. And then I'm going to actually lay my blanket across these blocks. I'm recognizing that right now, for where I am, I need a little bit of softness. So, a lot of times I'll just do this pose without the support of the blanket. Today, that's not going to happen. So go ahead, turn your back to those blocks. And you're looking to just get that lower block into the low shoulder blades, right? Basically where a bra strap might fit. That taller block is going to come behind the head and support you. So go ahead, scooch your hips forward. Find that block. And then find the pillow. Maybe turn the palms towards the sky. If you need to make adjustments, either to the hips, to the pelvis, to the positioning of the block, sometimes you don't get it right on the first approach. Feel free to make whatever adjustments you might need. We've generated some heat in this practice, so now we're going to start to move that heat, that sort of, just like if you're boiling water to purify it, right? You need to generate heat to take out the toxins, to take out the stress, to take out the bad stuff. But then once it's cool, it needs to go through that whole process to just kind of let it go, to get rid of those things. So think of it as a way that you're just letting your body cool. We've done the boiling. We're now doing the cooling. Take a few breaths. Feel the pressure of the block into the heart space, into the back of the heart. It's a place that we don't necessarily pay a lot of attention to. But see if you can wrap your breath around that block. See if you can wrap your shoulder blades down around that block. Notice if you feel a hitch in your breath, if you feel that sort of lump in your throat. That's totally okay if emotions come, if tears come, if anger comes, if anxiety comes. It's okay. The movements we've done today kind of crack open the heart space. And sometimes it just makes sense to let that emotion come, to let that any kind of energy move through you, because hanging on to it doesn't do any of us any good. We can't move forward without moving through. Take a few breaths here. See if you can soften the back body. See if you can imagine that breath both wrapping down and wrapping up, expanding into the back of the lungs, the back of the ribs, back of the heart, back of the shoulder blades. Allow your breath to soften. Allow whatever waves of physical emotion, mental emotion. And yeah, I feel like those things are two totally different things. You know, it's like if you stub your toe versus if you have a broken heart, those are two different kinds of emotion. If you'd like, you can take your hands up overhead, reach long, maybe open up the belly. I like to interlace my fingers and shift my knees left to right. Stretching into the armpits, into the chest. You'll notice the sound of my voice has changed. That's just because there's a little bit more constriction into my lungs. Bend your elbows. Maybe if you'd like, lift your head off that block. Take your hands, stack them behind your head. Let those elbows drop wide. Similar shape to what we did when we started on the floor, when we started tapping here, opening the chest. If you'd like to continue to sway your knees just slightly, feel free to. And then when you're ready, you can take your hands out from behind your head, drop your elbows, and slowly start to press yourself up and off those blocks. Come just to sit, maybe keeping your gaze lowered, noticing if you feel any sort of dizziness as you start to reorient to the position of gravity here. Take a momentary breath, just let your body resettle. And then we're going to come around onto our knees just for a moment. Take that blanket off of your blocks. And we're going to do one more sort of more restorative yin style pose. So come to kneel on your blanket, and you're only going to need one block for this. And you're going to take that block either on its middle setting, or if you feel like you need a little bit more space, you can take it on your highest setting. You're looking to get that block right into the sternum, kind of between the sternum and the lower ribs as you come forward. So it may take a little bit. It's kind of below the chest, if you will, but you're supporting your rib cage here. And I'm going to actually turn mine down just to a lower setting. Take my knees wider, let your big toes touch, let your head come down. And what we're going to do is lift the elbows slightly. Take that right hand, thread it underneath your left, and kind of move yourself around so that you can get the side of your head down to the mat. If you'd like, you can take that left hand around behind your back. So it may take a little bit of doing here. It may take a little bit of adjustment. But whatever you feel you need here, just take a moment to let the side of the head drop. If you'd like a little bit more rotation into the upper body, you can bend that right elbow, press that left hand into the right elbow, press down and twist. For me, that's what's feeling good, so I'm going to go with it. Elbow goes towards the sky, and if you'd like, you can start to lift the throat. Maybe gaze up towards the top of your mat, opening the front of the chest. This isn't like a really active pose. It's just more of a letting the weight of the arms kind of press against one another. I'm actually kind of pressing into my elbow so that I can rotate a little bit more deeply. We're going to take 3 deep breaths. And once you've taken that 3rd breath, go ahead and just take your hands back down, come back to center, let that rib cage rest on that block, maybe wag the tail a little bit, let the head drop. And then we're just going to go over to the other side. I'm actually going to turn around so that I'm not facing away from you. So from here, you're just going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Get that block into its sort of roughly right position, base of the ribs down into the belly a little bit. If you have to adjust it, adjust it. And go ahead and you're just going to thread that that left hand underneath the right. Maybe move your chest forward just to give yourself space. If you'd like, you can take that right arm, wrap it around, maybe reach for the hip crease. Take a couple breaths. If you'd like, you can bend that bottom arm, so that left arm. Take your right hand on top of that left fist and twist. And then if you'd like, you can gaze up towards the top of your mat. Open the front of the throat. We're going to take 3 deep breaths here. Feel the pressure of the block against your rib cage, against your belly. And after that third breath, go ahead and unwind. Take your hands back underneath your forehead. If you'd like, just rest in a child's pose for a moment. Let the ribs settle down on that block. I'm kind of liking a little bit of a massage there, right in that diaphragm, basically. Base of the ribs, top of the belly. And if you'd like to stay here for a Shavasana, you are more than welcome. I may hang out here for a few breaths. But if you're ready to move into a position on your back, feel free to just kind of make your adjustments. Come around to lie on your back. And once you get settled on your back, or if you're like me and you're like, I'm going to hang out in this position, go ahead and let your body start to sink down. Let your breath expand both into the front and into the back of the body. Let your breath come evenly and smoothly. Notice how it may have softened. Notice how whatever was present at the beginning of practice may have slightly moved, may have metabolized and evolved. Notice whatever has come up for you or has dissipated. Take a few more breaths here. Just letting everything settle down, settle in and rest. And just allow your body to flush out anything that may have come up during our practice. Allow it to let go, allow it to just simply rest on the mat. When you're ready, just slowly begin to deepen your breath. And begin to invite waves of movement back into your fingers, your toes. Maybe roll your wrists, roll your ankles. Shift your head from side to side. And then when you're ready, on your next inhale, take a nice, deep, long, good morning stretch with a nice, deep breath. And as you breathe, imagine bringing new, fresh air, fresh space into your body. And then on your exhale, roll over to your left or right side, whichever side might be calling you this morning. Take a moment here. And slowly shift your shoulders more towards the earth and press down to sit up and find your easy seat, whatever shape that may be. And as you find your easy seat, see if you can make a little bit more space between the base of your earlobes and the tops of your shoulders. Feel the connectedness of your pelvis to the earth. Feel the stability there. Know that you can always return to the breath. You can always return to the movement, to reset, to metabolize, to burn off, to move through these stressful days. Take your hands to heart center. Let your thumbs rest against your sternum. As you feel your sternum lift back up into your thumbs, bow your head to your heart. All of the love and light in me bows to and honors all of the love and light in each one of you. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Enjoy the rest of your day.